Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Hey, babe.
Yes, ma'am.
What do most men want in a woman?
Realness, authenticity, a woman that's intelligent, that...
I'm not sure I understand it, but everything seems brighter now than before. I don't know why I feel this way, but every time I hear your name.
Put that foot down now, that's awesome. Alright, done. You get it twisted as...
It's all because of you. I feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true, yeah. It's all because of you.
Look at this fine thing at work.
And I don't fall in love so easily, 'cause I don't wear my heart up on my sleeve. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same, but every time I hear
Right.
All right.
Man, it's been a minute.
It has been, what, like 3 weeks, two?
Something,
2 weeks,
like
something
2,
like
3
that.
weeks, man. Like, we missed y'all. I hope everybody's,
I hope you missed us.
if you didn't, we still missed you. No, but how you doing?
I'm good. I really am. I'm having some great days. Yourself?
I'm blessed. I am happy.
Vertical.
Yeah, vertical.
All right. So
Yeah.
we're here on Wednesday, hump day. We are elated you join us today. This moment in your life is an investment to better your future self and your relationship. Welcome everybody to My Bulletproof Marriages on the Evening Rush Network. If you're not signed up, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go and download that app right now. But we are your hosts, Shad and Lanell, with My Bulletproof Marriages. And we have been married for 19, going on 20 years. And we are raising 4 amazing humans in the love state of VA. That's a little bit about us.
Yeah.
If you are new to our channel, check us out.
Yeah, we got a Facebook group, My Bulletproof Marriages with an S. You can join. We would love to have you. Got to answer all the questions or I'm not going to accept you. So we get that all the time too. And that's why our numbers are small, because I'm not just letting anybody in. But if you want to join the group, you can ask questions in there. You can see our shows usually are played in there as well. Our Sunday show and this show here on the Evening Rush. So yeah, we try to put it all in there, and yeah, it's a good time. So, and we have some people that are more experienced than even us in that group. So if you ask a question, it's going to the right type of people. So,
all right. What is today's topic?
Simplicity.
Simplicity.
Man.
Simplicity in a marriage.
Man, it's like today we run into, now look, we've been married to this December will be 20 years for me and Lanell married, but we've been together for 27 years. And like today we see a lot of couples that it's like no one can be pleased, right? Like they just, and this is why we're talking about this today. We live in a world that is very much about experiences and doing things and buying things. We adopt that same thought process for our relationships, and we end up thinking that we have to do all of these things to please one another. And really what ends up happening in our experience is that neither people are pleased. Like it might be cool in the beginning
for that moment.
Yeah. Like first couple dates, like, all right, let's just take dinner and a movie date, right? Like, let's say you want to take your wife away or your husband away and you're going to go these nice restaurants and you're gonna catch a movie and the ambiance and it's gonna be great and we're gonna maybe have a glass of wine or whatever y'all drink or whatever y'all do. No kids, nothing to do. But then that becomes something that is a norm. And then you got to like, well, I don't want to do that anymore. Like I need more, right?
I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm bored.
I'm always bored.
And so then now we got to one up it somehow, right? Like, because dinner and the movie's not good enough.
Yep.
Okay. And being at home with each other is just, I mean, that's
overrated.
What are we doing?
What are you doing?
Like,
you want
it's
to hang out with your
2024,
partner?
And so then you go on this journey of constantly trying to please each other with things and activities. And it's just, man, it's chaotic. It's
never
stressful.
ending cycle.
Yeah.
Because the person is never filled and you're actually never filled either because you're constantly thinking, right? Or the couples that don't think about that. You got some husbands, some relationships that like, he's like, I'm not even thinking about her like that.
sorry if you in that, but that's real too. That's super real.
But we're talking about those that just, they're always constantly wanting to do, always constantly wanting to buy. They don't understand just being. But yes, the number one topic of today, right, is less is more.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you think about it. Why? All right, ask yourselves this question. Why would a couple after 30 years of marriage just get a divorce? Just throw away 30, 25, 20 years.
Majority of them, they weren't compatible in the first place.
Yeah, but when we talk about this topic, right? A lot of times one of the partners is tired.
Yeah.
They're tired for 20, 25 years, 30 years. They've gone out of their way to please the other person. Because usually in a relationship, one person's cool with whatever, and then the other person needs a lot, right? So one person's feeding the other person's plate. And they get to a point where they're done. They're tired. They're tapped. And if 25 or 30 years of me going out of my way doesn't show you that I love you and you still can't see that I love you, then why am I in this relationship? And I think that happens a lot more than
maybe we talk about, or maybe it's spoken about.
Because like, yeah, you might not have been compatible, but 30 years, usually 10 years. Okay. You try to make it work. Maybe you push a little bit past that 7-year itch, but then you just like, nah, this was a mistake. Right. So 10, 15 years, I can see it, but 30 years, it's usually it's somebody's tired.
Oh yeah. I mean, we know somebody, you remember? Yeah, he was done. And bought the child home from college and was out. Already had a whole apartment. Everything completely done.
Like, and his wife didn't know.
Had no clue.
Like,
no clue. Okay. When I say shocked, and I would have been too, because we had just saw him the week before. So you wouldn't even known that this is what his game plan was. He already had the plan in works. And it does happen that way. Yeah. They were married for 31 years. 31 years and had 2 kids and a house. Like she said, everything that everybody, says is the norm, and they lived the norm life. And it, but the more you dig into the world, it was her way. And if it wasn't her way, then it was.
Yeah. And you just get tired.
Yeah.
You get tired.
And I think that's what it is. He got tired.
Yeah. And tired and maybe unfulfilled yourself, because
that's what I'm saying. Like, you wasn't.
Yeah. You
nothing you could do could fulfill the person.
You can't give from an empty cup. We've talked a lot about that, but we just want to hit on this because before we go into, fully like less is more, think about your own experience, right? Like, what I love is looking at what's real, what's really going on. Look at the marriages and the relationships. The happiest people are not the ones that have the most money or going out all the time and spending, money and getting a gift every day, because one of the two, if not both, are miserable. And that's why they have to have these things constantly as a reminder that this person loves me, right? Or I'm wanted, or I'm fulfilled. It's not because of this person beside me. right? And that, so when we get into less is more, just already know that we're not saying that doing stuff with your partner is wrong, but if that's what determines the quality of your relationship, then I don't think you have a very strong relationship. It's based on the wrong things. What would you say?
We know they
Yeah,
don't
well,
have
yeah,
a,
yeah.
we know that they don't have a
Yeah.
strong, they know that they don't have a strong relationship. They are just continually doing this over and over again. It's like a cycle of just waking up, repeating, right? What is that called? Insanity, doing the same thing
Same
over
thing
and
over and
over
over
again,
again.
knowing that it's not fulfilling you or your partner. And you're just waiting for one of you all to look at each other and say, man, what are we doing?
Right. And nowadays the incentive is just to move on.
Yep.
When we were younger, the emphasis was always working it out.
Mhm.
You know, our parents and other parents, we didn't know, it was almost shameful to get a divorce, but today it's the opposite. So
They be having divorce parties
yeah,
and going on cruises together to celebrate, like
which
all types of stuff. Hey, each is on. We are
yeah,
not saying anything negative about anybody wanting to live their life the way they want to.
but
But
what if you could fix, like, what if you really love the person that you're with,
Mhm.
right? And you know that, man, this thing is just not clicking, but we're going on dates and he's buying me things and I'm doing things for him, and you know, we're doing, but we're not being fulfilled. We're not enjoying this
because that's not really
connection.
living. That's not really living your true self. That's not. I mean,
Yeah.
things don't never fulfill you, and I mean, everybody knows that.
Well, no,
It's
well,
no, everybody knows that deep down inside. You
yeah,
know that you
maybe.
just don't want to. You're conditioned to see that, oh no, my mom and dad got this and that, right?
Yeah.
Conditioned a lot of times of what you see, what you hear, what you're taught, you know. So that's what you go upon. If they not doing this, did we talk about that during Valentine's Day? If their person's not doing this, and this, and this, and this, they don't love me.
Right.
Because why? Because at work all day, so and so was talking about what she got from her husband or her boyfriend, and he was talking about what he had to do for his wife and his, you know, his girlfriend. Like, that's all conditioning that we've been taught all these years to show that's how you love a person, instead of just being there. Just being there with the person and just enjoying the person themselves without having anything, no attachments, just
Yeah.
two people, two humans together, enjoying just the energy that you serve together.
Don said he saw a divorce party at the club a while ago. That is crazy. At the club.
I
Like,
promise
just,
you.
but you know, but listen, here's the thing is, like, let's keep it real. We've told you, and if you've followed us, we, you know, the divorce rate is not in anyone's favor. But once you get a divorce, the likelihood that you're going to get a second and third divorce increases
Mhm.
greatly. Okay. So marriage is hard as it is, but a remarriage is even harder because both parties, and a lot of times they're both divorcees that are getting together now, right? So it's crazy. But um, there's a lot of undealt with expectations and things that they never changed about themselves, and they're going
Right.
to bring this into this new relationship. So now you have two people with unresolved issues that they don't even see are a problem. Okay. And we're going to bring that in thinking that this person is going to do everything that this other person didn't do.
Correct.
And it might, and now, so, well, let me not jump ahead of myself because that's, listen, so less is more, right?
When he gets on
Yes.
his soapbox, he can't help it.
Yeah.
So
You know, there was a wealthy businessman, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said, simplicity sells. Simplicity sells. You think about the things that you go to the store to buy, technology. Why is it attractive? Because it makes your life easier,
Mhm.
right? The easier it is, and the more time it takes away from you having to do something that you don't want to do, right? Or shrinks the time between the result and you, we want that. Okay. So if simplicity sells, if simplicity is the answer, even on business, in business front, why are we overcomplicating our relationships? Okay. And a lot of it, you already hit on it. It goes back to how we were conditioned as children, the relationships that you saw growing up, our culture in and of itself, depending on your
Yes.
culture, because you got to think about it. Our culture says a man's supposed to do this for a woman's supposed to do this for a man. On these holidays, a man's supposed to do this. And over the years, you become programmed to think a certain way and to do a certain thing.
Right.
Period. And a lot of times when it doesn't work out, we get confused. I was confused because I did that. We talked about this on Valentine's Day. I would buy the flowers, I would get the chocolate, I would do all these things. And every year she would hate it. And I would be pissed because I spent $300 on flowers I couldn't afford, on chocolate that was I couldn't even spell the type of chocolate it was, right? It was some German thing. And I was like, but it's German, right? And she's like, I don't care. It's not what she wanted.
Right.
Okay. And so there's this rift that happens when you don't simplify your relationship and get back to what humans really want. You didn't get with this person you got with them so you could experience life together, but you could have someone to love and do life with. Do life doesn't mean.
I always, okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I would say I'm always think about this. Like, what happens, and we've been there before, which we've shared on this platform before. But I mean, what happens if you lose everything? So is the relationship gone? Like, think about that. If I lose everything, if I lose our house, if I lose our money, if I lose our cars, if we lose all the materialistic things, right? And it was no longer tangible to us. We cannot hold it. We can't touch it. We can't get in it. We can't do nothing. Does that mean that now the relationship that I have here with this partner is no longer existing? If that's the case, then that's a huge issue within your relationship. Think about that. But if you say, we've lost it all and it's just us and we have to start all over, is this worth it? It's worth it.
Yeah.
Then you got something very special, very, very special when you can do that, when you can constantly think about knowing that this relationship here with nothing else is important.
Like, I think about it like I have somebody I can enjoy the moments of my life with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have somebody I can trust. I have somebody that I can confide in. When I was in the ICU, it was her. It wasn't my legal family. It wasn't my friends that came and helped me. It wasn't any of those people. Okay? It was this woman beside me. Look, there is something special about being able to just do life together and enjoy that. What comes, what goes.
Mm-hmm.
But we got each other, man. Isn't that why we really get into these relationships? And I think this is what I was trying to get at before you said what you said. But like, what's the real reason we're getting in these relationships? Now, if you're getting in there because they can provide you something or their arm candy, or then you have the wrong reason for getting in this relationship, and you're going to get the wrong results eventually. Mm-hmm. From the rip, it might look good and everybody's all up in your face. And we see a lot of that. If you follow like the rich and the famous people and the popular kids in school, they all have on the outside everything that everybody wants. But on the inside, it's a hot mess. And then all of a sudden, a few years down the road, they're getting divorced and they're getting with somebody else. And that's a divorce. And next thing you know, 4 or 5 divorces later, and they're still unsure on how to fulfill themselves, right? And a lot of that's because we go into it, like you said, wrong reasons. Yep. Okay, I'm not going into this because we had an episode on this, so you should go back and listen to our other episodes. But we talked about why you should get into a relationship with somebody. Mm-hmm. Okay, and if those aren't your reasons, if this person doesn't accent my moments, then why am I in this? Right. We go to the store and we enjoy it. Mm-hmm. The store. Mm-hmm. We go to the farmer's market and walk around and buy vegetables and look at flowers, and we love it. Yep. Today, me and Lanell took like 2.5 hours and we snuck out and we went to a store and looked at stuff and did a few other little things, but we were just together. Mm-hmm. And we enjoy that. Like
We walked
that's
away buying water.
we bought some water.
It's water.
Money wasn't the basis
Right.
of the time that we spent. Things weren't it was each other. I just want to be with you.
Yep.
When you can tear all of that away, and that's to the point number 2, sustainable. Why is buying stuff not sustainable?
Because it's an itch. It's literally like dopamine. It's like
It's
an
a
itch.
dopamine hit,
It's
yeah.
a dopamine itch. Like, oh, I got this, or I got to go on this trip, or I got this new thing, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, wait, that's over. That high is over. I need something else.
What's next?
Yeah. Like what else can I do? What next trip can I go on? Right. I'm just saying it's like a dopamine fix that people just need. It's like always desiring to have something.
Yeah.
So that's never going to be fulfilling. And the person trying to fulfill it for you, which is always trying to please you with giving it for you or getting it to you or making sure that you go on whatever you need, it's not fulfilling to them because they probably don't even really want to do it in the first place.
Well, yeah, because and it's not sustainable. That's why so many people end up getting. You might be able to do it for a few years, and I'm not saying not to do nice things for your partner. That's not what we're saying. But being in the moment with them, just that being enough, right? Hear our heart here. Like, it's not about what we buy. It's not about the adventures that we go on. It's not about any of that stuff. I just want you with me.
Yep.
As often as I possibly can have you.
And if you can the reason that you can sustain a relationship like that for longevity, like our grandparents probably, did and their parents did, is because it wasn't built on anything but them.
It's built on love.
That was it. Like it was, yes, built on just love and trust and just trying to figure out what peace looked like. Right. And just trying their best to maintain the happiness that they could have for each other and with each other while they were with each other without any attachments to anything.
Like, we have this saying in our culture that like love is complicated, but it's not. Love's not complicated. Love's not really that hard to do. We make it hard by adding all of this other stuff. That a lot of it we heard from other people.
Yep.
We're not even talking to our partner to see what they need, want, desire, love to do. It could be as simple as they like looking at sunsets or, going for drives at night and just talking. Like, just do that then.
Right.
Our grandparents, they simplified it. They weren't on vacations every other week. They weren't having to go out of their way for each other, but they did the small things. And here's what's sustainable is the small things, the kisses, the holding of the hands, the I love yous, the sorries. Okay. All of these little things. And after we get through our third point, we're going to give you something that was given to us 20 years ago. Okay. And it's still relevant today. And I think it'll bless you all too, because it really embraces what we're talking about the simplicity that is needed. And we always preach about having a recipe. And if you have that recipe, you're always going to get the right results. Okay. So that said, I think that the third thing is that it stimulates authenticity, because I can keep it 1,000 when we're trying to base our relationship off things and complicating it with more and more and more stuff and all this extra, right? I can't be honest that I don't want to do this. I can't be honest.
How long, I always wonder, like, how long can you hold up the charade? How long can you be fake?
Right.
Because you're being fake to yourself.
Tell them about the men we see in the stores.
Oh, how miserable they look
man.
when they walk around with their wives and they have to act like they really care about what it is that their wives are into. It's miserable. Miserable. And instead of them speaking up and saying, I really don't want to be here. I want you to just do this by yourself. Like, honestly, okay, sound good. When she said, well, I really don't want to be here. Well, then, bet how we gonna make this solution work where
Right.
both of us ain't gotta be here because we're here doing something that we truly both don't like to do. Like, I just think not enough communication, first thing, is going into relationships. We know that for sure. And so when you can't communicate with your partner honestly, because you can't even be honest with yourself first.
Yeah.
You can't even be honest with yourself first. So then how can you be honest with your partner to then turn around and try to stimulate an authentic relationship? Because you're not even authentic within yourself.
And if you can't find peace within yourself, you're not going to find peace. And we've talked about this in length on a lot of our other episodes, so I'm not going to like beat a dead horse, but we talk about that inner relationship you have with yourself. Okay. And a lot of the problems that we have in our relation, the reason that we complicate our relationships is because our relationship with ourselves is complicated.
Correct.
We don't want to look at ourselves. We don't want to do the things for ourselves. We don't want to find that peace within ourselves and then allow that peace to regulate everything else in our life. And so that's where it starts. But again, you can go back and listen to these other episodes. My thing is that everybody wants their partner to be authentic, but you can't do that if you're pursuing exterior things constantly to please another person. You always have to feel like they can't be pleased, that what you're doing isn't enough. Like most people in relationships that are doing the constant giving feel like that.
Mhm.
They feel like nothing I do is enough. I'm just constant
Right.
giving, but not giving like love. I'm giving you trips. I'm giving you dinners. I'm giving you a movie. Whatever it is. And again, we're not saying those things are bad. Okay. But if it doesn't come from the place of, I just want to be with you.
I just want to do this.
Right?
I just want to give this to you because I thought about you and I thought, you know what, you deserve this today, right? Because I love you so much. And maybe you've been eyeing it or whatever it is. Or I'm giving it to you because I know to hush you up.
Right.
Or I'm giving it to you because, you know what?
I want to hear
I don't have to, if I do this for her, then then I ain't got to deal with this. Like, that's not the way you want to have a relationship, because eventually, like I said, he stated, it gets stale. It gets stale very old. And resentment sets in. And when resentment sets in from the person that's always the giver, then eventually they either will continue to go to their grave, right? Being very unhappy, or they will eventually lash out, and eventually the truth will come out, and you might be taken back because you were so blinded by what their truth was. When only thing you have to do in relationships is just be truthful and have a communication, an opportunity to talk, so you both can be free.
Also, having two authentic people and being able to be authentic, you can fall in love with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like truly fall in love with them. Like you love even the things that you don't like too much,
yes.
Right? You go back and you smile about them afterwards, right? After you calm down, and you think about how, when they're gone and they pass away, that's what you're going to remember, right? Those little things, those little quirks, and they no longer get on your nerves as much.
It's a part of them.
Yeah,
so it's like if they
so
didn't do that, or they didn't say this certain thing, or whatever it is about them that you may not like, right? Then you wouldn't have them. Like, I would rather have all the things that I really don't like about him than not have him at all. And that's 1000%.
Yeah. So I mean, just simplifying your relationship, it really does. It's so powerful. We've done the opposite, where you're trying to go out of your way and do everything that the world tells you to do for each other, and you just no lasting fulfillment.
We've been happier the last couple years of our marriage because we really did simplify life. When we decided to just start marching to our own beat and just really living life the way we felt was authentic to us, and we tuned everybody else out and all thoughts, it was so much easier for us to live life and really enjoy life freely, which is, I believe, everybody's goal and journey, but it's everybody trying to figure out how to get there.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk about a recipe to get there as soon as we get back from this break. Sorry. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys. So you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
You're now listening to the...
All right, we're back. Look, if you haven't downloaded the app, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's dope, so download it, man. The Apple Store is not hard to work.
If you want to hear more information, okay, more knowledge on marriages, then download the app because that's how you're gonna find out.
And we got a few episodes here, and so I can't. What episode is this? This is number 11. So there's 11 episodes, and then there's a whole bunch of other shows that you can tap into.
That's right.
That will probably bring some value in your life as well. So you need to do that. And so we've been talking about simplifying our marriage, simplifying our relationships, not basing them off things and events and going like if those things come, cool, right? Enjoy them.
Yep.
But they shouldn't be based on that. Okay. I'm telling you, I didn't hear when I was a young kid, I didn't hear my grandparents talk about how they're just don't feel the zap anymore in their relationship, And I think it's because they fell in love with each other, for the right reasons. And they just decided that we were going to love each other through every moment. I got to spend these moments, and that's what matters to me. What comes in these moments, whether they're vacations or trips or, the little things that we do for each other, cool, right? They accent your relationship, and they definitely allow you to express your love for your partner. But there's no greater expression than consistently doing the small things every single day for your partner, showing them that you love them through your everyday actions. That is what is really the point that we're getting across with simplifying your marriage, right? It's showing that love every single day, no matter what, right? Even through your arguments,
even
saying
through the
your
hard
sorries.
times, it really is. Because you know why? When it's hard times, it doesn't even feel like it's that hard.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. It just feels like, okay, got you. We're still two different people, right? Just not seeing eye to eye on a certain situation. But guess what? We still love each other. And that's all it is. And this is not going to make us, not going to break us. We just going to keep it moving at the end of the day. That's your opinion. That's my opinion.
And I'm going to say this real quick. Some of y'all just don't want to be pleased, right? And because you're addicted to that dopamine of always receiving something new. And that's why you go from relationship to relationship, and you always say you can never be pleased
because you're still within yourself, and then you go from you're displeased with every man that you're with,
right?
Yeah. So they can't ever.
And they'll never. And eventually, what they do they run out of ideas. They run out of things that they can do to make you happy, and that dopamine begins to fade away. Hold on, you're not doing it for me anymore, right?
Right.
It's been a whole 6 months, and I haven't got a diamond tennis bracelet. Oh no. Right. And we have to change how we approach these situations. And listen, if the person doesn't do that for you, right? Like if they don't bring that out of you where you just want to enjoy life with them, then that before you move too deep in this relationship, identify that and just move on. Be friends. It's cool. No love lost, right? It hurts a lot worse when you try to force a relationship with someone who just doesn't do it for you, right? They just don't give you that electric jolt, when you see them in the morning, right? And that's cool. Just become friends, move on, find the right person for you, right? So anyway, we got this recipe that it was actually given to us.
It was on our wedding day.
Yeah, on our wedding day.
By a couple that had been married for over 30 years. And
so
they
now
had
it's been 50.
And they went through a lot, early on in their marriage. They got married. I believe she was 16. I think she was 16.
Yeah.
So
like a lot.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, this is what they gave us. And like I said, we've kept it.
Yeah, it's
but we
sitting-
just I never really paid attention to it as well as I should have to really understand the message, yeah, that they were trying to give to us at such an early age.
Literally a recipe that could have saved us
from the 10 years of just like hell, for real. But
yeah, so don't overlook it. Don't overlook it like we did.
So it says 1 cup of courtesy, 2 cups of milk of human kindness, 2 cups of praise, 1 reasonable budget, 3 tablespoons of pure extract of I am sorry,
Ooh.
1 cup of confidence, 1 cup of encouragement, 1 large sense of humor, 1 cup of consideration, 2 cups of flattery carefully concealed, 1 gallon of faith in God and each other, 1 small pinch of in-laws, 1 generous dash of cooperation, 2 children, that's optional, 2 cups blindness to the other's faults, and 1 large or several small hobbies. It says flavor with frequent portions of recreation and a dash of happy moments. Stir well and remove any specks of jealousy, temper, or criticism, and sweeten well with generous portions of love and keep warm with a steady flame of devotion. Never serve with a cold shoulder or hot tongue. Man, that's deep.
Yeah, I hope y'all are, go and run that back if you need to, write it down. All of those things that was in that recipe we've talked about. And unfortunately, we had it right in front of us.
Yeah.
And we had to learn this recipe the hard way. But there's key things in here like the sorries, devotion to each other, the happy moments, just not forcing this, but being intentional in your moments, y'all. Like that's what this is really about. It's being intentional with the moments that you have with each other. There are times where we flirt with each other just randomly. She'll be cooking. I popped her on her butt in the store today, right? I got a whole handful, and she liked it, right? She giggled, and it's little things, and it's just constantly like none of this was like 4 pounds of this. It was a cup of this, a quarter of this, just a little dash of this, a little sprinkle of that, right? And you're just throwing these on your moments, and you're doing that consistently, and you're being intentional. You're being intentional with every moment, from the time that you wake up to the time you go to bed. You're being intentional with each other.
And if you notice that nothing there consisted of finances.
Yeah.
Nothing there consisted of anything other than you just being you.
Budget. Have a reasonable budget. That's all they said.
That was it. And I'm like, yo, when I read this, it just like put a dagger in my heart, not gonna lie, because I was like, why didn't I pay attention to this message that was right in front of me this whole time, trying to help me learn exactly what we were going to need in order for us to have the right recipe for our marriage. And I just didn't see it. But you know what? When it says, when you're ready, the teacher will show.
Yeah, that's right.
And so at the end of the day, I was ready for it. And I'm so grateful that we have this. And I'm so grateful actually for the couple. We still know them to this day. And I know their backstory, and I know where they're at now. And they're in their 70s, 80s, I think he's in his 80s. And man, it's just amazing to just know that we could like be there one day. We could be there. We will be there one day if God chooses for that to happen. But it started with us now. we had to work on that now. And we still have to work on that every single day. That's not
Yeah.
something that we take for granted. We have to just wake up and know that we choose each other every single day. We choose each other for our flaws. We choose each other for, the good, the bad, with the ugly. We choose each other with money, without money. We choose each other whether we have this house, whether we live in 1-bedroom apartment. We choose each other every day.
And that's really the beauty of hardship. If y'all know me, a lot of people are trying to run from hard things. I do not. I run right to them
Mm-hmm.
because that's where you learn, man. That's where you learn the value of life, the value of the people in your life, your own value.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we were poor, we were completely broke, and that experience was something that allowed us to develop this closeness, this tightness, this strength. Okay, I don't want to say dependency because we're not dependent on each other by any means, but we are like blocks for a building, right? And together we form something that is unbreakable. But you have to be in a situation
Mm-hmm.
where you get rattled, where things are hard, and you have to go back to the basics. You think about every story, every movie, everything worth watching, almost all of them go back to the basics, and the basics is what wins them. The basics.
It's like
the
when a house
basics.
shifts, right? They got to fix the foundation before they do anything
Right.
else. That's the basic, right? It's the first thing.
Yeah.
Form a foundation, a strong foundation at that. You need to form a strong foundation, and then watch your house be built strong.
And the other thing I want to say is this ingredient that she just read out to you all, this isn't something that you do like one ingredient a day and you're going to have the recipe. Remember, a recipe has to be followed. This is a daily recipe. We doing this is every day. I'm sprinkling this here, it's a little splash of that, a little psh, right? And that is how you get through the moments, and those moments come together as a life that's worth living. You see what I'm saying? And people are gonna look at you like, how do y'all have this great relate? People come to us like, how'd y'all do it? How are y'all so happy? Oh, he likes you, right?
I
Like
know.
people say that to us, like, oh,
He really likes
he
you.
really,
Yeah, he
man.
does.
And we're like, yeah, that I thought that's kind of the point, right? But it goes to show how many people don't have that
Right.
in their life. Their relationships aren't built on the right things, okay? Or they are implementing the wrong things in the relationship to try to disguise what really is. Okay? We want you to be authentic.
Yeah.
We want you to have something real. Real lasts. Okay?
Yes.
Real lasts. All this plastic stuff that we're used to, now our marriages are made out of plastic and they're breaking left and right. And we're trying to get replacements like they're daggone coffee filters and they're not fitting. Okay? And we're still not getting the coffee.
Mhm.
So let's go back to stainless steel.
I know
Let's
that's
go
right.
Let's go back to some glass. Let's go back to the basics, to what really makes a relationship pop, what makes it last the test of time. We always talk about that, the test of time. You want a 40-year marriage, you got to do what 40-year marriages do, man.
Right.
And you got to do it every single day. You got to do it when you don't want to do it.
And don't do it in front of people. Do it like authentically, or like when it's closed doors and it's just you two, right? That's the most important thing. Get away from what you can show others that you do. What are you doing when it's just you two?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
it's just you two, what are you doing? We are the same no matter what. We are the same. We're here together. We're the same in front of our children. We're the same when my family comes. We are the same. We go to stores. We are the same. We don't change. We are the same. And it's so easy because why? We're just being us. And then it flows.
And we love each other for each other.
Yes. Nothing that he can't do anything for me that's gonna make me love him more than him just being him.
Right. And so you got to get back to that first. Okay? If you're not with somebody because of who they are, okay? You need to go back there.
Amen.
You need to go back to the drawing board. Make sure that you begin to start liking them for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much more we can say about this because at the end of the day, the recipe, like this has been our wall for 20 years.
Yep.
20 years. Every duty station that we went to,
Yep.
man, it's been overseas in different countries. And we ignored it.
We did.
So what we're trying to get you guys to understand is that after all the mess that we went through, it was stuff like this recipe that we just read out to you that changed our relationship and created what we have today.
Yep.
So don't ignore it.
One more time.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it one more time just so you all understand. For those who need to hear it, is 1 cup of courtesy, 2 cups of milk of human kindness, 2 cups of praise, 1 reasonable budget, 3 tablespoons pure extract of I am sorry, 1 cup of confidence, 1 cup of encouragement, 1 large sense of humor, 1 cup of consideration, 2 cups of flattery carefully concealed, 1 gallon faith in God and each other, and 1 small pinch of in-laws, 1 generous dash of cooperation, 2 children are optional.
I said about the family and in-laws, small pinch. Small pinch.
2 children, which are optional, 1 cup of blindness to the other's faults, 1 large or several small hobbies. And you're going to do this. Flavor with frequent portions of recreation and a dash of happy moments. Stir well. Excuse me. It hit me. Stir well and remove any specks of jealousy, temper, or criticism. Sweeten well with generous portions of love and keep warm with a steady flame of devotion. And never serve with a cold shoulder or hot tongue.
And what I will say is, notice nothing was about experiences. Nothing in here was about going on a vacation every year, about the kids having to do things, about maxing out your Amex card so that way you can have certain things so you can keep up with the person down the street. It's not about living in a certain friends or living in a certain neighborhood or having a house, a certain amount of money that you make together a year. It's not about the country club. It's not about the YMCA. It's not about your little mom's group or your dad's group. It's not about, the backyard guys that you hang out with and build engines with. It's not about none of that. None of that. So all the stuff that we worried about, none of that was in this recipe. Mm-hmm. None of that. All the stuff that we sprinkle our relationships with, none of that was in there. None of that. So take it from a 50-year couple and a 20-year couple. I'm telling you, 27 really, but legally 20. And that's what it is, man. Like this isn't that hard.
No.
We just don't want to be intentional because it's easy to fill the void with things. And hey, TK, and
people. You're filling the void with people. And people.
People that won't do nothing for you.
Some of you are just with somebody just so that you're not lonely. So,
Yeah.
That's right. Be intentional. Yeah. Amen to that.
Yeah. So that's it, man. Like, do you have anything? Because I think
we're good.
I think that's it, man. Yeah. Like, look, if
you haven't downloaded, go ahead. I said if you haven't downloaded the Evening Rush Network app, not sure what you're waiting for, please do so as soon as possible. If you have any questions or concerns, whether you are married, in a relationship, engaged, divorced, single, or in an entanglement, hit us up in My Bulletproof Marriages at e360tvlive.com or our Facebook group.
Yeah, and we will see you next week, family.
Next week? Yep, next Wednesday.
Bye,
fam.